season 7. Never really played ranked since, and now I'm back at it.
Okay, okay. Well, uh, about Udyr, when do you go like this AD build or like off tank, and when do you go the demonic and like more tanky stuff?
It's usually depending on damage sources in my team.
Okay.
Although, like, if it's a really engage heavy team, even if I have like two APs in my team, I'll pick AP just because the R is so good for like zone control.
If enemies have engage or if your team is having engage.
No, no, if enemy has engage.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Just wanted to know your thought process on that.
Yeah.
Just so I know that you're not mindlessly building random stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good. About Evelyn, let's see, because I play a lot of Evelyn myself.
Okay. Nice.
Uh, Although it kind of sucks to play in high low because at least in New West, I don't know how it is in other servers because everyone just perma fighting, and
Mm-hmm.
like the playstyle of the champion is like kind of like Karthus, but it's a bit different obviously because the champion works. You cannot like impact top lane from bot lane, but
Yeah.
it's like in like mid late game, the entire map is like pressured, and your team just needs to chill until then, and then they can start like fighting. But people
Yeah.
really like to fight, and every Evelyn one trick on New West is like is playing Evelyn like either Jarvan, and I really
Mm-hmm.
despise that, and I always like critique them. But basically, yeah, you just need to farm until 6. Like, don't fight. Don't fight at all until 6 unless it's like really free and there's like almost zero risk. If you like, if
Yeah.
someone is like pushing without warding and stuff like that. Um,
Yeah. It's kind of one of the things I wanted to ask because I've been having that issue lately. Is like I can't stop like my bot lane fighting level 3, whatever that
yeah.
happens. Like if they get ganked, that happens. But that's kind of the issue I've been having with Evelyn, like the two games today, for example, where like my team gets behind and I don't really have a say in what happens because I'm Evelyn pre 6, so I'm not very useful.
hmm
And like maybe since you play, for example, like a way to like avoid that, or how can I come back from that in any way? Maybe sometimes it's just unwinnable because people go like 0 and 20 and
Yeah,
shit. But
sometimes it's for sure like there's nothing you can do, but I mean the most you can do is like use your pings, you know, like you have enough pings
Mhm.
to relay as much information, even more than you can, even more than you need to your team. So like that's the only thing you need to do, and this is one of the reasons why I don't recommend champions like this, or at least I don't like to play them myself. Like if I'm leveling an account or something, if I'm
Yeah.
climbing from zero, because like I said, you have to like your team has to chill a bit for the game to actually work properly with your jump, and
Yeah.
you can't control it all the time. So that's why I pick jumps. Like when I'm climbing, I just pick jumps that I can have more say in what's going on, you know. But if
Mhm.
that's what you care about, like we're here to teach you like how to control everything you can control, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I thought about that. I thought about picking more like aggressive junglers because, like in this Udyr game, when we watched the replay, I consistently pinged my
which
teammates
one? This
where
one?
Diana was. The
Yeah,
last
okay.
Udyr game, yeah. I like consistently pinged where Diana was the whole time, and people still died to the ganks. And like I'm Udyr, right? So like I can counter a gank, but I'm not very strong till I have one item and like some levels.
Yeah.
So like I thought about playing a more aggressive, more powerful jungler just because my teammates in this elo, regardless, are gonna die even if I ping because they just do. So I thought about playing like I don't know, like Jarvan or whatever that type of champ to like be able to be in those counter ganks instead of just pinging people and them dying either way, you know.
Yeah. Well,
But I also want to play Udyr and Evelyn because I enjoy the playstyle.
Well, of course, that's definitely not the like main issue. I think because if you really think about it, like there's people like Malice. That's just the first name that comes up in my mind when I
Hmm.
hear Udyr. So like there basically what I'm saying is like there's Udyr one tricks that are way higher in than you. So that's like I'm just saying that if you're consistent, you're gonna climb. Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah, yeah, 100%. No, I'm not excusing myself through the
yeah,
champion. I watch Malice a shit ton. Like
okay,
I know you can climb with the champ. It's just I think I make mistakes that don't allow me to do that sometimes. Like that's why I'm losing games in this elo
yeah, sure, that's
precisely.
okay. Okay, then we can start with the VOD. You can stream it to me, or if you
Yeah.
uploaded it to YouTube, you can just send it to me.
Yeah, I can. I think I can stream it. Yeah,
Okay,
you
sure.
should tell me if the quality is good.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Mm.
Don't need to play it with sound. Just
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how to remove this fucking ad from there.
you don't need
Can
to
you see
just
if I go full screen?
yeah, full screen is
Okay.
fine, and then just put it on 2 speed for now.
Two speed.
It's like in the settings somewhere. Yeah, playback speed. You can skip to the loading screen.
Mm,
Okay,
oh,
and pause on the tab and tell me what you do. You have like a game plan? You should have a game plan every single game, no
yeah,
matter if
yeah, yeah.
it's wrong or right. Okay. So what
Uh,
was your game plan this game?
well, first I tabbed to like check what smite item I get this game. I thought about getting green smite, even though most of their CC is like skill shots. I'm bound to be hit by them at some point, and I
Yeah.
think just green smite is better. And then also for this game, I just want to full clear basically because I don't see any like gank opportunities. Like the gank opportunity is Lux hitting a Q maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking about full clearing this game really.
Yeah, that's good. Um, but where are you starting?
I think I start Raptors. I honestly don't remember. I think I start Raptors though.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not sure how top matchup goes, but it's gonna be heavy fighting, and you should win 2v2, so I think you should pass them. And also, bot lane is just like two random champs that make no sense together, so
Yeah.
you cannot flip that they're gonna have prio. And also, if I mean, it's just like yeah, like you said, like there's no real gank opportunity. Like you can't really gank them, so
Hmm.
it's fine to start Raptors. And also, Raptors is really good to start instead of buff when there's likely nothing gonna happen on first clear, and you can just like come back to them and do like another clear after.
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing this clear. I didn't usually do this, like going from Raptors to Krugs, but I watched like Malice do it in some games, like where he wanted to full clear and he wasn't really like ganking, and I thought it was pretty good. But I
Yeah,
don't know
that's
your
good.
opinion on it.
Yeah, I just told you like that clear you do when that's like maximum XP and that's like the most efficient clear for like getting resources early game because nothing is happening on the map like early.
Okay.
If you need to
Yeah,
impact
because
top, you don't do this clear because let's say you finish your first clear and then you need to impact top and then Gemini jungler doesn't need to because apparently like for some reason you can't make a play or something. Or you just need to push it out, but you need to show to push it out on top. You get what I'm saying? And then he can just invade your raptors again, like your second spawn because they spawn
yeah.
earlier because you didn't start the red first or the
Hmm.
like buff.
Okay. Here I just like my thought process is Diana just ganked top and didn't get anything out of it, so I'm just gonna run to the bot crack because I have both prio.
Yeah, this is good. This is
Okay.
better this game because you start raptors, but usually it's better for tempo because the crab doesn't actually give like if you don't know where she is, this is bad, very bad by the way.
Hmm.
It's better this game, like I said, because you start raptors and you can just go to them instead of basing because you would
Yeah.
run to raptors anyway. But in a normal game where you don't know where Diana is, even if you know actually, matter of fact, like let's say this game you didn't start raptors and you started red and you finish your clear and you finish the top grab and you knew Diana was top, I would still base honestly because
Okay.
um, next clear she's gonna be no buy and you're gonna have a buy and you clear faster than her anyway. I think I'm not sure
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think you should clear faster than her. And if she, I mean, yeah, she just gets the crab and doesn't get that much value from it. And now on the next clear, you're gonna be faster and you're gonna be first on the map and you can invade her. Okay,
Hmm.
or you can just do Drake depending on like how your waves are.
Yeah, that's a thing I wanted to ask. Like right here, I went for the rep. Well, I think I walk mid lane because my mid lane's like getting engaged on or something. But like, should I reset there or should I just complete the clear and then reset?
Where
What do you
exactly?
think? Like
After the
right
crab?
here, after the crab, yeah.
No, no. If you're already here, like if the camp is that close, like let's say the camp you needed to do was wolves, then you need to
Yeah.
reset. But since it's raptors, it's fine, like because you're already here, and like this is like based on numbers. Like if you calculate the time that it takes you to do this clear instead of basing and then doing it, this is shorter. Like you don't need to
Okay.
make the calculation because I've done them already.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah. This is what I was talking about. Like, I know Diana's gonna be bot. I ping them. They still like blow both her flashes and shit.
can
No,
you go
no one
back?
dies, but yeah.
And I want to see when you pinged.
Here I pinged she was on her blue. I don't know if
Uh,
that's enough.
I
should
mean,
ping more.
I mean, yeah, I would say like definitely you should ping more. Like what I like to do is like I ping danger ping like that, or just like normal like danger ping, but the other one, you know.
Yeah.
And I ping like twice there, like twice that side of the jungle, and then I ping like either once on top of my bot lane or like once in the bush where Diana is right now. Like you need to do more.
Okay.
Like just because you can, you shouldn't need to, right? Like you shouldn't need to because that ping like indicates like they can get ganked and they should know, but it doesn't matter because you can do more and you should if you can, right?
Yeah. 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 Agree.
Yeah. So I would just ping a bit more. Like when I in my one of my previous sessions someone said like, oh yeah, but like they sometimes they tilt when I do that, and like you know it's better you taking the chance that they tilt a bit because you ping them like what the correct play is, and then
Hmm.
you can't do anything about that because like you're just playing the game correctly, right? Like nobody,
Yeah.
you cannot do anything about people getting mad about that. So just play the game, and it's much more beneficial for them to potentially run away from the gank or escape the gank than for them to tilt a little bit and forget about it like 1 minute later, you know, that you ping them
Okay.
a bit more.
Okay. Yeah, because this is like repeating in this game. Like I will ping them like most of my teammates where Diana is, and they will just die to it. But
Yeah, I
and
mean
also I didn't want to take this fight because Diana reset and I didn't.
yeah,
But
that also. But yeah, yeah, also one thing about this clear is that you need to check also. I think you didn't check the bot wave before. I'm not sure. Like
I
after the
I
crab,
didn't.
the thing about this clear is that you really don't want to have to impact lanes like that, and that's why I said it's good to do this clear when you think that nothing is gonna happen. But that requires like experience and knowledge on the matchups, and sometimes
Yeah.
even I don't know that because like sometimes just random champs like that, like Kaisa Lux is like super random combo. You cannot know how this is gonna go. So,
Okay.
but yeah, like if I don't know how the wave was on bot when they got ganked, but if the wave was not bad for them, like if the wave wasn't pushing to enemy, uh
I think it was pretty even,
you shouldn't
but
even
I don't
try to
remember.
counter gank that, honestly. Like if you ping them and they don't run, like it happens. Like that's life.
Yeah. Here I ain't. Like I shouldn't be here. It's
Yeah,
fine
this
because
is bad
I
invade for
can just
sure.
run away.
This is bad invade because your bot lane wants to reset, and even if you have
Yeah.
a small timer, like you'd rather just clear your camps.
Yeah.
Like usually, like you want to do what your bot lane. You don't want to do this basically if you're alone on the play because you are potentially outnumbered, and even if it's
Mhm.
like a low chance, you're still like you have something else to do that's less risky, like doing your camps that are up. So
Yeah. 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 No, no, that was a bad invade. I
like the
shouldn't have went for it.
invades, the invade shouldn't feel forced, you know. You should feel like they should feel really obvious. I don't know if you
Hmm.
feel like that sometimes, like the difference between this invade and like an invade that you've done that you had like double prio in bot mid.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It shouldn't feel forced ever like this. You
Hmm.
shouldn't be wondering about, can we fight this? Are they gonna come? You know, it should just feel natural that you
Hmm.
can walk in there and they're scared. Yeah, you can also tell by the movement of the enemy jungler, like when you walk in there. Actually, I'm not sure
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
elo, like if they actually like have this like what's it called, instinct of like when someone invades them and they don't have prior run to like insta start running or like at least peel back a little bit. But yeah, they should do that if they're smart.
Yeah. This again. I was doing the Herald. My top laner gets ganked, and I tried to counter
Can you
gank
go
it.
back again? Let me
Yeah.
see. Uh,
I we see Diana on that ward. I didn't know she was there, but I saw it.
yeah.
So
I
I
mean,
start
let's
pinging.
see what he does. I mean, yeah, he's just trolling. Like,
Yeah.
nothing you can do
So
about that,
I
honestly.
get a kill out of it, but I also die, and I don't get the Herald. So
I mean, I wouldn't run that way, honestly, but I would just run left.
you would have run like through
I would.
Urgot?
I mean, you still ran through Urgot, no? Like,
Mm,
yeah,
kinda.
you kind of just
Yeah.
ran through him anyway. So I would
Okay.
for sure
Yeah.
run left. Like, that's like the safest path.
Yeah. True. True.
Like, cause even if this guy wasn't there, like, then then Urgot can like walk through river, and then you have to do all these fucking loops in enemy jungle and hope that nobody is chasing you. You know, like.
Yeah. 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 Think I go for a top gank here, but he just gets away. Oh no, my Olaf goes for a dive here. Yeah.
For a dive? Oh, yo.
Yeah. 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 Look at the HP. I like get off, and he just goes back in.
I mean, yeah, but this was kind of your fault, to be honest, because
Yeah. I kind of baited
you
it a
baited it
little bit.
a bit.
Yeah.
Like, this is like a play that go back again. Like, I
Oh.
would never make this play because I will explain why. Just show me, like, yeah. Like, this is like, This guy's full HP, and basically, wait, did he just TP top? I think he did, no?
No, I think he stayed after killing me, or did he TP? Yeah, he stayed after killing me. He was hitting the turret.
Okay, I mean, then like your mid, I think your mid just killed him or something. Like your mid has one wave tempo, so basically, like if you start Herald here, you're gonna have outnumber. You're gonna be outnumbering them, and also like Urgot really doesn't want to walk like in spaces like this in river where he cannot run out. And if he
Mhm.
walks to check you, then he's just sandwiched by Jason Olaf, basically.
Okay. My thought process here was like I want to gank him, like to get him off a lane or kill him and just do the herald.
Yeah, I
But
mean, remember, like you're a farming champion still, and even if this looks like even if he has no ward like this, like basically he's like
mhm.
full HP. It's not. This is the same thing as the dive, the invade. You know, like it feels a bit
Yeah.
forced. Like it
Hmm.
feels a bit forced. Like this guy's full HP, and he's like, yeah, he's a bit deep in the lane, but can you really kill him? He's so tanky. Can you really kill
Yeah.
him before he runs away? Probably not. And you also like another reason here is that you have camps to clear. It's not like you have nothing to do and you can just like back off and like, oh sure, I didn't waste any time because I have nothing else to do. You know, like you're just wasting
Yeah.
time when you could be farming.
Like in these type of games in this elo, I feel like that's just my thought process. Like I kind of need to go for those type of plays, like get people off the map, get my teammates tempo, because farming, like even if I'm like 40 CS ahead of the enemy jungler, I'm not really doing anything because my teammates will fight and die or will fight and win. Depends, you know. So like I kind of feel forced to do those like more abusive plays, but I don't know if it's right. If maybe farming is just the correct answer always.
Well, this is like you also have to think about what happens on the other side of the map, right? If you do
Hmm.
this, because you showing on top, you just showing like even if you didn't like chase him and try to like kill him and stuff, you are still relieving the pressure off of mid and bot at the same time. You need to think about that as
Yeah.
well. So
Hmm.
it was bad enough that you showed, but you also because you could have been bot lane at the side at this timing still, and enemies don't know where you are currently. So
Hmm.
you also relieve pressure from both of the two lanes, and you try to kill someone instead of doing something which is like um, higher, lower risk, higher reward play. You know,
Okay.
because even if you kill this guy, by the way, you should not be able to do Herald after that because now Diana could have walked bot and just like ganked your bot lane, and enemy bot lane could have prio, and then you cannot start Herald anyway because
Hmm.
they could have had move. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I we saw Diana on the Spink ward on the Herald,
Okay.
like when I went for the gank, but yeah, I mean, she could have just ran bot lane by now for sure.
Yeah, but do you understand what I mean when I say that this is
Yeah,
like one of
yeah,
those
yeah.
forced plays that I
Hmm.
mean? So yeah, it's not. I would say like 95% of the time. I know I get what you're saying. Like I understand that you feel the need to push people out like that, but this is like in this case specifically for this champion. Like okay, let's say someone was like more squishy. Then let's say you did this in bot lane, okay, and like you got someone half of their HP. This is fine. But like this guy has so much HP, bro. Like you can never kill
Yeah.
him like that.
Hmm.
And also your can you pause on the tab? I think your Olaf is like really behind in items. I'm not sure.
He's very oh fuck, I tab really fast. He's really behind in everything. I don't know if I tab again.
Yeah, this is another reason on top of that. Is that you're like trying to force playing for a lane that's already losing. That's one more bad thing.
No.
You're tabbing so fast. I mean, you're in 2 speed right now, so maybe it's
Yeah.
easier if you put it in normal.
Let's see. Why is it not playing now? Oh, there we go.
He's not that behind, but I think that's because Orga didn't base after killing you. So after
Yeah, yeah,
killing you
yeah.
both.
I think he has full heart steal when he gets
So
back.
yeah, but
Pretty
that's
sure.
also because if you knew that as well, like you would. That's another reason why you should start Herald because he has a lot of gold and he wants a base, and this is like this is like the best opportunity you're gonna get at this stage of top lane, when this guy needs to buy an item and he's not actually that ahead, even though he has gold.
Okay.
Um, yeah, he's not actually that ahead in the matchup because he needs to buy,
All
and
right.
you need to pay attention to these things as well. Like so this is gonna happen a lot, by the way, probably in your elo where someone is like really ahead technically in gold, but he's not basing and buying an item, so you can actually do stuff on that side. But like by do stuff I don't mean like killing people. Like killing people should probably be like one of the last things you do with your like with your time in the game. Like with the invade as well. I've coached before, and I've seen like people go for the kill always when they go invade, but like this is the thing where is the same for dives as well. Like you are making a play, and the goal should be to deny the enemy gold if you can,
Hmm.
and killing them isn't necessary, pretty much ever. Unless you need to kill them. Basically, that's the like the rule. You don't kill them unless they want to die, or unless you need to kill them. Okay. For example, your bot lane is slow pushing 3 waves on bot. Okay. Mm.
Yeah.
And you see enemy jungler showing top, and you're diving bot. Okay. Enemies can always, no matter what, survive if they want to not die. Okay, because they can just run back and drop the waves, but they are still losing the
Yeah.
waves. You see what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
the same with the buff. You're invading with double prio, and you're walking, and Diana can choose to flip and die for the buff, but you kill her, or she can just give the buff, but you still get something. So you're 1 point up, and she's 1 point down. It's like 1-0.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I get
this
what
is
you
the
mean.
same point.
Hmm.
Yeah, we can go.
Okay.
Can put it in 2 speed again.
Yeah. Yeah. I put into speed. I see Diana's bot, so I'm scared for like my camps and like the crab, but I go for it anyway.
So when you see something like that on top lane, and if you recognize that this guy has a lot of gold and he hasn't based, even though he killed you and he's like ahead supposedly in the matchup, you should think, instead of think, oh, we should kill this guy, you should think we should force a fight around an objective. Objective could be camp. Objective could be um, herald as well. You should
Okay.
think we should force a fight here because this is the best chance we're gonna get, where we are actually not behind in items, even though technically we should be. This is what your thought process should be, instead of
Okay.
we should go kill this guy.
Yeah. Here I even knew Diana was on the crab, and I just like went for this, like tried to gank mid and just died for it.
Yeah, crabs in general, like this, if there's any type of uncertainty, like bot lane wasn't showing on bot, Ari was there, you knew that, but you still went, even if I usually just skip those crabs, and even though you could get it, like even though there's a, like, I don't know, 30-40% chance that you're gonna get this crab, even though you probably shouldn't, like finishing your camp and basing and being first on the map is always gonna be more valuable than this. Okay.
Yeah.
Because if Diana does, because she's going for crab before her camps probably, like she has, I don't know, maybe 2 camps up on both sides still, so she's gonna go
Yeah.
crab, and then you're gonna go red golems or whatever was up. I'm not sure. You're gonna go, even if it's only golems, you go golems, then you go base, and then you can walk to herald and go put a deep ward, and that's gonna make your herald fight way easier if you have a deep ward and info on what she's doing.
Okay.
Because you're gonna know if she's walking insta from base to the herald or to her camps, and if you know exactly what camp she's doing, since you have that ward, you can just adapt. You
Yeah.
can even go for a gank on top because you know that she won't be there. Here, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking Diana's doing Herald right now, but she was not for some reason. She had mid bio. They were like trying to cheese the Jays. I don't know if we kill them here. I don't think so. Oh, the Ari we do. Oh, we kill both. Yeah.
Yeah, this is
And
fine. You
then we do the
punished
Herald.
punish mistake. It's fine. I would put a ward before, like on the entrance,
Mm-hmm.
because just because you can. You have two
Okay.
wards, and this
Yeah.
is like, uh, go ahead.
I was gonna say this game I was kind of like zoned out with the word thing. Like I really didn't use them. I usually like swap to sweeper at like 5 minutes, but for
Mhm.
some reason I just didn't do it this game.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, you should probably swap to sweeper. I've seen some people tell me. I've heard some people say like that they prefer to play with wards for longer. That's fine. Like, if you want to do that, that's fine. But you
Mm.
should be using them.
Yeah, yeah. No, this was just like I was zoned out.
Yeah, that's fine. Sure.
And this game happened, and it happens to me a lot of games. I don't really see a opportunity to use the Herald like correctly. Like, if that makes any sense. Like, go to a lane and like actually use the Herald to get a tower. Like, I usually just end up having it till it's about to die, and I just throw it wherever. Like,
Well,
I don't really manage to use it.
can you tell me? Do you know like what the rule for herald is? Like, where you put it?
I usually what I do is put it on turrets that have like 3 prates or less.
Mm,
That's what I usually do.
that's not the rule though. The rule is pause it.
Sure.
Basically, if all plates are up in every lane. If it's 5 plates
Mhm.
top, 5 plates mid, 5 plates bot, you always put it mid if you need to, like if you're getting to that stage of the game where you need to put it because plates are gonna go out. You always put it mid.
Mhm.
It's not a gold tool. The herald is not a gold tool. It's like a tool to open up the map, and you put it mid you put it mid because on second herald you're gonna be able to break the tower with the second herald if you get it. Since
Okay.
there's no better opportunity, and the best one when there's no better opportunity is mid. But if you can get 5 plates on a side lane or 4 even, it's better to let's say you're diving bot or something, and you put herald and you can get full tower instead of putting it mid and getting 1 plate or 2. Like the crash doesn't do 2 plates, so you need to hit it
Yeah.
a little bit to get 2. But yeah, usually you get 2 if you herald mid, if you actually have enough pressure. But yeah, if you can get whole tower or 4 plates on a side, you always put it side. If you cannot get plates anywhere else, like basically if you're wondering about should I get 2 plates mid or 2 plates bot, obviously it's always mid. That's basically the
Okay.
rule.
All right. Well, I think this game I ended up throwing it mid, but just because Drake was spawning and I just wanted to like pressure mid
Yeah,
while we
that's
do the
also
Drake.
good. That's good thinking. Like you need to have a pressure point. Basically, the another rule is like if you're making team fight plays like for objectives, like for Drake and for Baron and stuff, you need to have a pressure point somewhere on the map on the opposite side, obviously, ideally. But
Yeah.
mid is like fine when this happened because they are forced to answer it,
I
and
think
then
we
you can
lose
get
this fight
position.
super hard. Yeah, I get caught by Orgotar
Yeah,
here,
you're
and then
overchasing a
Olaf
bit.
just
I
yeah.
mean, you're all overchasing. Like this is just like go back.
You want me to play at 1 speed?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a chaotic fight, but
Yeah, I get hit by Orgotar and
you're
then I
kind
just
of
get
getting
bursted.
baited. Like you shouldn't be getting baited like this by your team.
Hmm.
Like you need to. Like I'm sure you know this, but you're just this is normal, okay? That you're getting
Yeah.
baited sometimes. Even I do that sometimes. But basically, like you shouldn't be doing things that you know you cannot do just because someone is pinging it or whatever. Like if someone is going in and you know that they are gonna die and you cannot help them, then don't help them. You know, like
Okay.
don't die for people. Don't try to fix people's mistakes. Like you can you maybe you can fix it, right? Like maybe you can make it work, but there's also a big chance that you're gonna make it a 2-for-1. Like enemies are they're gonna kill you both, and you're gonna maybe get a kill or maybe not even get a kill. When
Yeah.
it's better to just put a band-aid on it, you know, like by just saving everyone else. Because when you're not gonna go in with that guy, people are probably gonna back off and be like, "Oh, this guy's inting. Just let him die and we run." You know?
Yeah, that's like kind of something I do a lot. Like what you said, like I try to help my teammates even though they're inting, and I think I should stop. But like I saw this Olaf like spam pinging going in, and the same for the Jason. I was like, okay, well I guess we're just trying this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you
But
know
yeah,
this. Like you're chasing 4 range champions that have slows and
yeah,
stuff with Udyr,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you have no engage on your team. Like that's just, if I said it like this, it's funny. Like, haha, why
yeah.
am I
It's
doing this?
it's doomed. Yeah, I knew from the start that we were not gonna get anything out of it. Maybe 1 kill. When Drake was like spawning, it's better
Yeah.
to just back off and go to Drake. But
Here is where you can also use pings. You can ping them
yeah,
back to just not go in.
I pinged the Drake here to see if they can do it, but I think they just recall.
Well, they shouldn't do it here because even if you get Drake here, after that you're gonna need to base, and they're gonna push you out and like chase you, and they're just gonna get something out of it. They're gonna get mid tower probably. So it's
Hmm.
bad. You need to do it when you have like new tempo on the map.
Okay.
If that makes sense. I can explain if you don't know what that means.
No, yeah, yeah, yeah. I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it on 2 speed. I forgot. Mhm. Yeah, that's where I dropped the Herald and I tried to go for the Drake.
That's fine. But first you need to see where enemies are playing because yeah.
Oh, here I coin flip the smite and I miss it. Never mind. I remember this.
Uh
Like my Lux gets it, but I fail the smite.
could have pinged your mid laner here to come because he had no drop.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, this is just like I said, in these situations where someone dies like this and you have to drop one of the objectives, I mean, enemies if they are good, but this won't happen in your elo probably. In high elo, like if someone dies like that and two objectives are up, like Herald and Drake at the same time, like they're not gonna let you take either one. But here you could have just ran to Herald, like I said, like even before I saw what they were playing, like I told you, you need to see where enemies are playing and you go the other one
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because you don't get to choose. Like they get to choose when they kill someone like that when they catch.
Hmm. Oh yeah, here I'm like pinging my team for help. Like start the Baron, not even starting it, just like standing with me because there's two people killing bot the Olaf bot, and they just get to kill me for free. Like they die, but they should have been here
Go
earlier,
back.
and we could have done Baron. Like right here, I see two people are chasing after the Olaf bot, so I'm like pinging the Baron and shit, and I ping my team for help, and I see they're coming for me. I don't know if I should have like ran this way instead of like trying to fight them when they come in, like through the river.
Well, two things. First, you need to adapt no matter what. Like no matter what the correct play is. Like when you're pinging them and you see that they're not moving, you shouldn't play as if they were moving. One thing.
Yeah,
Uh, that just goes with any situation, you know. Like even though the correct play is something, you need to adapt to what's actually happening on the map,
yeah.
because you don't know what your teammates is thinking. You don't know if they're full muted and not seeing your pings. Like you don't know this stuff. So
Yeah.
being the correct play, sure, this is fine. Like calling Baron is fine here. But you also have no information on. Sure, you see two people bot, but like, what if the other three are just fucking flipping and just walking in river here? You know, like
Yeah.
what if they're doing that, and you don't know that. And
Hmm.
even actually, even if you, it's not even good to start Baron here because you don't have the time to set it up and to start it. Because it's just gonna turn into a flip. Like Diana's just gonna come and she's gonna flip smite, and it's not a good play if it's flip. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You should
Yeah.
just get this midwave with your team. Like obviously don't show on it, but like hover them so they can get the midwave, and you should walk and set up the Baron because that's gonna make enemies face check you for vision, and then you can like look to play around that. You know,
Okay.
like Baron, like this is also just one of those forced plays where you don't need to do it, and it probably felt like iffy. You know. Um,
Yeah, it didn't feel good like being here on the river, but like in my head, like right at this moment when I see two people engaging on me, and like I thought my teammates were in mid, right, and they were coming because I pinged them. There's two people both. We should like try to do something here, right? I thought I kind of had them behind me, but then I realized they didn't move at all, and then I
yeah.
realized my fuck
Well,
up.
you know, like you said it yourself. Like I thought, right? Like you
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
check.
yeah, yeah.
And
Uh,
also, like Baron is way harder to do in general if you don't have this tier 2 tower on top taken, by the way, because you cannot actually push, you cannot maintain your vision that deep when that tower is up, and you cannot push them out that deep because that tower is up, you know.
yeah,
So in general, Baron plays like in general, like you shouldn't do Baron unless it's really free like that, okay? Like here before Baron, you have like 5 other steps to do. You have mid to push out, you have vision setup to do, you have top to push out, and you have top tower to take, and maybe camps even, okay?
yeah,
Because even if you're not on Baron there, enemies has to have to check you because they just made a play on bot side and they have zero vision on top side. So they need to check you no matter what. And if they check you, then you have full vision, right? And you're gonna look skew them or whatever, like when they face check. Or you can even chunk them. You don't even need to kill them. As long as you chunk them, it's fine. And then you basically what I'm saying is you need to be more patient with the Barons, okay? With just
yeah.
doing Baron in general. There's probably always, like most of the time, gonna be something that you need to do before you start the Baron.
Okay.
You don't need to basically starting Baron uh if you haven't done a lot of steps before, should feel forced.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, like here, I was gonna say like right here they're doing Baron whatever, and I think here I'm just like mad at the game in general, and I like
Yeah.
legit just didn't like I shouldn't be doing this. I'm just running it
Yeah.
down. I start pinging Olaf and typing to him when I should just like be full muted, but it is what it is.
I mean, this is one thing that actually could make your teammates tilt, you know, when you type like that,
Yeah.
more than when you ping them what the correct play is.
No, yeah, for sure. No, I tend not to type and like have chat on to like try to give calls and shit, never to like flame. But that game I was really upset. So I
Yeah,
just
that's fine. Like happens.
let
Whatever.
it go. Oh, this was bad. I shouldn't be doing this, but
I mean, I think there's no point in watching this game at this point, to be honest, because it's
yeah,
completely
this
in
this
enemy
game is just a
sense.
shit fest from here on.
It's
Yeah, it's
completely in
completely a
enemy
shit fest.
sense at this point.
Hmm.
Do you have another VOD?
I have like a league replay. I don't have like a recorded game
If you have
because
a
I
game
didn't
that you
have like
think is good, like a league replay is fine. Like if it's a good game.
like I won this game by like a lot, but I think I could have done things in mid game to like end it way faster. Like I definitely made mistakes at some point, and I want to have a look at it.
Okay,
Let
I'm
me
gonna
find it.
write some things down in a notepad so I can send like some points to you. um,
Okay, I think it was this game. Um, let me mute fucking league sounds.
um, you can look at what I'm typing on the stream and like tell me if
Oh,
you remember something, because I'm trying to think of every point at the same
yeah.
time. I should have been doing this actually during the thing, but I didn't want to like get unfocused and just start blabbering and shit.
Uh, the main points I think were like the forced plays, like
Oh yeah, okay.
stop forcing plays when I don't have prio. Um, farm. Well, I just think you wrote that down. Yeah, farm.
Let me
The
think.
herald thing, like when to use herald.
Yeah, I just need to get through this one first. First, how do I? I'm trying to think how I can phrase it so that it's like a rule, you know.
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember what I said.
You compare that to fuck.
I'll get there. I just need some time.
Oh yeah, you were saying the thing about like the dive with like 3 waves dying,
Yeah,
both
yeah, okay.
like giving up waves. I think.
By the way, when you invade, and someone is contesting like a blue buff, let's say, like that this Diana, let's say the last game Diana, you invaded him on bot, on blue
Yeah.
with double prio.
Hmm.
If she is fighting you anyway, like on the buff, you always hit her, and you just keep hitting her. You don't hit the buff, okay? Like if she's trying to
Hmm.
get the buff, you always hit her and you try to push her out. Like the goal is to push her out, because if basically she cannot fight you because your team is moving first, right? So even if she out damages you a little bit with her champ, like there's specific matchups, like jungle matchups, which maybe enemy jungler is gonna out damage you or out DPS you, and he can like potentially kill you. Like you play not to die basically, but you play to like push him out slowly at the same time while not letting him do the buff. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and basically when you push them out, what happens is if he tries to fight you, you play the fight slow until your team comes, and then you just push her out with your team and take the buff. If she hits the buff, you hit her, and then even if she takes the buff, you kill her. So she's like trade worth, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
it makes sense.
basically when you invade, always try to push them out, and like depending on the situation, try to play it like the correct way. Like if you need to, if she is stronger than you 1v1, you push her out slowly, or you play to stall, or you even sometimes it's fine to flip the 50-50. Like if there's no other options, like if your team is not gonna move in time, if you calculate, if you see them moving but they're not gonna move in time. And she's like hitting the buff and you can't kill them in time because it's just gonna be a 50-50 and she's gonna be able to escape. That's like a rare situation, but like it could happen. um you can flip the smite, worst case, like very like worst case, okay?
Yeah.
But you're still pressuring because even if she gets the buff after that, if you still have prio, like let's say you had a big, very big slow push on bot, like 2-3 waves, and you still have time to take the gromp, then you can say take the gromp, but she's already pushed out. But also if you don't have time, because your prio is expiring now because the wave is dead under the tower and the enemies can move, you can just walk out and after you push her out, but she doesn't know where you are, so basically she's flipping if she walks for the grump when she doesn't know where you are, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, that's just one thing about invades.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna leave the
All right.
VOD up. I'm not gonna write all that shit down because it's way too much.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
VOD's
That's
gonna be
fine.
up. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna write some things about the Herald. Um, okay, I think that's it for the Herald. Also, you don't Herald. I'm gonna write this down too, actually. Okay. Anything else you remember? Important. Even though, like I said, the vote's gonna be up, but I just still want to give those points to you because these are like rules. Because it's easier to remember, at least for me. Like when I'm getting coached, it's way easier to remember things when they're as a rule instead of
Yeah.
like situational and yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, but I think mostly like the biggest mistakes were like forcing plays, the Herald thing. Yeah, those were like the
Oh yeah.
biggest
Also,
things we
don't
talked
try to
about.
fix people's mistakes.
Oh, true. Yeah, that.
That's it, I think, for now. Okay, we can
All
watch the
right.
second game.
Okay. Let me go over to me. Put it on 2 speed.
You need to
Oh,
change the fog of war.
yeah, yeah. I didn't realize. I need to work on my Evelyn clear a little bit. It's not as fast as I would want it to be, but I haven't played her in like 6 years. So
I mean, honestly, like it doesn't really matter that much. This is something that uh, a lot of people like criticize people on, but I think it's really not that big of a deal. Obviously, it's better to optimize it if you can, but if you can, if you clear Evelyn's clear is like 304 or something, I think, pixel
yeah,
perfect. But if you do it like 315, it really doesn't matter that much. But yeah, like it's very good to optimize. Obviously, it's always gonna be better. Why did you start Raptors game? Was there any intention behind it?
I wanted to let Tryndamere be in lane because I know Tryndamere with a couple kills is like with lane pressure and a couple kills is a
Okay,
monster.
well,
And
I
there
have
you
to
go.
talk about this then. Pause.
Okay.
Uh, no champion in jungle requires a leash. Okay, like every
Yeah.
single champion can clear without leash. So you don't need to, because this is what I talked about last game, that this is abusable.
Hmm.
What you do if actually, I mean, this game things should happen, so it's not like every lane is AFK. Like bot can be a lot of fighting, mid can also be a lot of fighting, so you cannot do this clear. It's not optimal. I'm saying you can do it, but it's not optimal because it's abusable.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, even though you won't get a leash, like I get no leash like 95% of my games in Hilo, but that's
Hmm.
fine because that's normal. Like if you watch even pro play, like nobody leashes because it's so, unless like it really doesn't change anything about the lane matchup, but it really does like most of the time. Okay, so you shouldn't be thinking of starting another camp just because you don't get a leash. Like that's
Okay.
perfectly fine to clear without a leash.
All right. Oh yeah, this is why I do this clear because I now I remember. Like I do this sometimes on Evelyn. I just recall and get a Dark Seal after 3 camps because like I saw Warwick start at bot side because the bot lane leashed, and I wasn't gonna be contested on the crab, so I can be a little later and be a little stronger with the Dark Seal. I do this sometimes,
Really
not
bad.
often though.
This is really bad because
Okay.
like on second clear your camp spawns are gonna be really fucked up. Like it's gonna be even more fucked up because you started Raptors. So now um you're gonna have to, on second clear, you're gonna run to Raptors, you're gonna do golems, and then you're gonna have this free time to, and when there's gonna be pretty much nothing to do, and this is gonna snowball for every single clear after that. Okay, and
Okay.
you're gonna be clearing your camps slower. This game you're lucky that you're not against a champ that like full clears, but
Yeah.
if you were against Karthus, it's complete BG, by the way. If you do this
Okay.
and he knows or somehow finds out, or he just keeps AFK clearing, like you're gonna be fucked for sure. Like at some point you're gonna be one level down at least from that.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
If you don't get like some random like catch up XP kill. But catch up XP begins when you're 2 levels down, so you probably won't. Okay, this is a good gank. Nice.
Mm.
Yeah, good. You adapted.
Yeah. I was gonna recall, but I saw the Raptor spawning, so I just went for it.
I saw you didn't like look at lanes that much last game.
Yeah, it's something I need to work on for sure. The F keys. I'm trying to get used to it because like I've been a shooter player my whole life, and I play with my fingers on WASD, so it gets a bit difficult getting to the F keys.
Yeah,
But I'm working
I
on
was
it.
gonna
I'm
say you
working on it.
don't need to actually use F keys, even though it's better, yeah, and I recommend it.
Yeah.
But you don't actually need to use F keys. You can also just move the camera with your mouse. That's also fine. But
Hmm.
just checking, like this is like the most, literally the most important thing as a jungler is to be aware of your lane states, because that's basically like your whole game could fall apart because you missed information like that. You know.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, because for example, in my last competitive split, I had to do this. I could like this is a really big luxury, but that we have in solo queue, by the way, as junglers, that we can just full clear most of the games like this, and we won't get abused. That we can just do camp, like the camps in that order that they're spawning in. Okay,
Yeah.
like I had to do like some red gromp, blue wolves, shit like that, you know, clears because I had no prio and I had to adapt.
Hmm.
So there's gonna be a game for sure. I don't know. Maybe there's already been where you didn't check a lane and you had no prow, and since you were clearing them in that order, then you had to skip a camp and give it instead of having done it before they get to you. You know, because
Yeah.
you could adapt earlier.
There was a game like that, kinda. It was a flex game, but I was versus like a full challenger stack in flex, which I'm obviously way worse than. And like I
Mhm.
realized instantly, he was playing Camille jungle, which is not good. But I realized instantly that enemy top was missing, and like I had my whole top side up, but I couldn't just walk in, so I just had to like recall and give it
Yeah, that's
because I had
exactly what I
no
mean.
prio on any lane. So it's happened before for sure, but in this elo it doesn't really happen. Like laners don't really play around the jungler like that in the sense that like they go and invade with him instantly. But
Yeah, but you should understand how impactful this could be, and you should work on
yeah,
it.
for sure.
And it's really not that hard, by the way. Like when I wasn't using F keys before, I was still checking the lanes, but it's just it. I check them more now because I use F keys. It's just easier. It's and faster. Like that's just how it is. And um I was making all kinds of excuses like my fingers aren't long enough, it's not comfortable, I can misclick a spell or whatever. Like when I'm
Yeah.
using FK, that's all fucking bullshit excuses that I just use because I didn't want to like take the time and work to do it.
Yeah,
So
no, I agree. Like I'm changing. I was talking to it like about it with a friend, and like I need to change how my hand is positioned on the keyboard because it's just like not good for the F keys. But I want to do it because it is
I
definitely
mean, you
good
don't need
to
to
do.
change it. It's just I didn't change it. I just got used to the movement of like having to um like it used to bother me, and like I used to get the ick, when I had to move my hand a bit up to press the F
Yeah,
keys. But it's just like standard to me. It's just normal. You just get used to it like anything else.
yeah. Here I wasted my ult,
It's
but
gonna
I
feel like
still get
shit
the
for a
kills.
bit for sure.
But yeah, this game, like, I have these games very often. I don't know how to translate my lead into a win, like, a lot of times. Like, this
Hmm.
game, I'm already fucking 5-0, 21 in Magi stacks, and this game went on for 28 minutes. When I think this game should be over in
Well, when you
15.
press the tab, I'm sure you know this, but it's just you haven't done it consistently for a bit. So you like pause it and look at the tab and tell me what you need to do.
Right now,
No, like just in general, if you were a third person in this game and you see,
yeah,
let's say you were me, you were coaching this Evelyn, okay, and
hmm
you had to tell him what he needs to do. What would you say to him to win the game?
just farm and not die.
No,
That's what I would say, but
like more than that. Like how do you play macro? Not macro, but I mean you cannot just sit in jungle and farm all game without doing anything, right?
hmm
Like what do you do? Like
yeah.
who do you play around? Stuff like that. How do you
Well,
progress in the game?
obviously play around mid and top and like go for heralds and shit, I think, because
Yeah,
bot is not like I mean bot is even,
yeah.
basically.
So do you need to go
But
bot and make plays
no,
around
not at
them?
all.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. So you
Yeah.
know this. You just aren't like either aren't thinking about it, or you're just making like random other stuff that doesn't correlate with your win condition, and then
Okay.
shit happens. So
Yeah.
let's play. I'm gonna explain how you play around mid and top later, but just this base is good that you have. So since you know what you needed to do, so let's see what happened then.
Think I legit path to bot lane and gank bot, but I'm not certain.
This is exactly the same thing about the forced place. Like you know this
Yeah,
is bad. You know this is
yeah.
bad, but you're doing it anyway.
This was horrible. Yeah, we all
This is
died
one
here,
thing
and I
I've
lost my
learned
Majestics.
during my many years of playing solo queue is that you always, always, always need to trust your gut. Okay, this is
Hmm.
your gut feeling that told you to play around top and mid, and you didn't trust it, and now look what happened.
Yeah,
You literally just solo lost the game because you did that. Even though your bot lane was ending, this is your fault what you did
yeah,
because they saw you coming bot and they thought, oh yeah, we're gonna fight them, but you
yeah.
shouldn't
I
do that.
tend to do that a lot. Like I could have just taken the Raptors and fucked off, but instead I just ran bot lane because I saw them fighting, and I was like, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
this
go
is
help
the
them.
moment where you ping them to back off, and that's it.
Yeah,
And then you did your job. They can choose to die if they want to, but you did what you could, so
yeah,
that's fine. And also, even if they do that and you make a good play on top, now you're like helping the game. Yeah, basically you're fixing their mistake, but the correct way. Like what I
yeah,
told you about not fixing enemy's mistake. You're fixing a mistake the correct way because even though they made a mistake, it would have been. I mean, you could also say that maybe they're evening out your good play, but we're just gonna say it like that because we're optimists. You're yeah, you're basically fixing their mistake by playing correctly.
okay.
Technically.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like basically, like trying to fix their mistake, like actively, like going into the fight, doesn't do anything. Like I should just do the right thing, like
Yeah,
ping them
just
and
play
go
the
do
game
something else.
how you know you should be playing it, and
Hmm.
just use your communication, like, and you hope that it works because you did every single thing that you possibly could to relay the information that you needed to and to play the game correctly. So you don't
Yeah.
care about what happens past that point.
Okay.
But yeah, now it's a fiesta
Hmm.
because people keep dying one by one because of what you did.
Yeah.
And now you cannot play proper macro. You somehow are lucky that you have two Drakes, by the way, because if enemies had two Drakes, it would have been way harder to play the game.
Hmm.
And also, I wouldn't even play this dragon, by the way, because even if it was second dragon, I wouldn't play it. I would just keep snowballing top.
Yeah.
But you're even you had the luxury of having one Drake, and you still went for that second Drake, which is like playing around bot still, even though mid is involved. It's just zero risk playing around mid top instead of mid bot. Even though your mid is fed, there's some more risk involved than doing the opposite, which is the correct, to play around top
Okay.
mid.
Yeah.
Did you win this game?
Yeah, yeah, we won. I mean, we ended
Okay.
up winning, but yeah, there was a bunch of those mistakes that, like, we're saying, like, I'm fighting when I shouldn't fight. I'm not in the correct place. Like, I know I should be playing around my mid laner, my top laner, and I'm just like going with my bot lane. That type of thing. I think that's mostly the reason why I take, like, for example, in this game where I'm like 5-0, 21 Magi stacks, and I'm take the game to 30 minutes, right? When it should be a 15-minute game. Oh, since you play Evelyn, I wanted to ask, because like I haven't played her in a minute. I don't know if it
Yeah.
was in this game or in a different game. I recalled and like I think I was on Proto Build and Pen Boots and I had 3,000 gold and instead of like buying two large rods, I bought a Lich Bane. What do you think of that? Do you think Lich Bane is good on Eve
Which point?
nowadays?
Can you this
I
game?
don't know if it's in this game precisely, but in like in one game I did that where I had enough money for a Lich Bane instead of buying like two large rods.
Well,
Do you think that's good?
it's not bad as an item, but Rabadon is good for a couple of reasons. Better for a couple of reasons because keep showing the tab, by the way.
Oh,
In this game, for example, you're gonna. I mean, in any game, you might need like the build is basically what you have right now is the core, and then you need to choose depending on the game. You either go Rabadon or Void here, and then you're gonna need Banshee most of the games just because it's OP on Evelyn, because you can open without caring about the first CC that comes out.
yeah, I don't build Banshee enough. I
So
see Evelyn
yeah,
players build it. I should
basically,
build it.
the value of sure Lich Bane does more damage, but first of all, you don't need that much more damage to kill people if you actually are building correctly. Like if you have Rabadon instead of Lich Bane, it's not gonna make that big of a difference on the next item. In
Mhm.
terms of damage, where you could be getting more value from actually being more comfortable playing and like fighting because you have this safety of the Banshee. And also it can fuck up your build because if you need Void on next item, you cannot buy Rabadon, which is really really bad because you're already on fifth and you haven't bought Rabadon.
Mhm.
Which I don't think I have to explain on fifth item why Rabadon outweighs Lich Bane.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
So yeah, that's basically why it just fucked up the build order. You
Okay,
potentially last item, okay? Last item only, Lich Bane. If
okay.
you don't need void, fucking what's it called?
I mean, yeah, any of
Banshee.
the other items,
Banshee. No, no, no,
basically.
because you're gonna need void. It's good anyway to build. Actually, no, no, no. Maybe sometimes you can go Shadow Flame as well. Um,
I went Shadowplay again. Maybe I went Shadowplay this game because they had like Warwick, a Scion, and Thresh. I don't know. I'm
yeah,
not
but you
sure.
always do the Shadow Flame after the Rabadon. By the way, it's not better
Okay.
because you have an execute when you jump. And
Hmm.
basically, I don't know exactly the math, but basically you do enough damage to where you can get to the execute before your um, pen starts mattering at those items. So you
Okay.
always go Rabadon before that, unless you need Void that early, obviously.
Okay. I think there's not much more to watch in this game, honestly. From this
Yeah,
point on, it's kind of we just get the dragons and then just end up winning. I don't think there's much more to this game.
sure.
I don't know if there's like something else you want to go over, or
Is there anything specific that you're wondering about, or just anything about jungling or about a champion? Also,
mostly?
actually, about I was gonna talk about the sweeper, by the way.
Yeah,
Sweeper, you change into blue orb basically as soon as the phase where people actually do like vision setups and stuff start, because you actually cannot use your sweeper. It's completely useless. It can only harm you, by the way, because if
yeah.
you're using it while you're near wards, people can tell that you're there. So
Okay,
it's completely useless.
all right.
Because in mid game you're not gonna just sweep and like hit a ward for 3 hits, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you always change it once mid game starts. Basically, when a tower falls and you're like high enough in levels to, yeah, to when people start playing sideline, basically.
Okay. Oh, it was in this game where I bought Lich Bane. Yeah, I had exactly 3,000. I think I just went for a Lich Bane.
Sometimes it could be fine if you know that the game is completely won and you're gonna just to buy not specifically Lich Bane. Sure, Lich Bane is fine, but I mean like any item that's like a whole item spike instead of buying like two components.
Okay.
If you know that the game is not gonna go for a lot longer and it's in the bag basically.
All right. Well, I think that was everything because I did want to ask about like itemization and shit, but
Hmm.
I don't think there's many more questions, to be honest.
Anything about Viego you want to know? Maybe you said you played a bit of Viego. I don't know.
Yeah, I see like most challenger players, like Viego players, go IE. I mean, not IE. Fuck. Infinity fucking Triforce. Holy shit, I can't
Triforce.
speak. Yeah, Triforce first. But I
Hmm.
feel if I go Triforce first without like Kraken or Bork, I don't deal any fucking damage.
Well, basically the build before was like a more of a burst build,
Mm-hmm.
but they nerfed Sunder, and now Sunder is rarely ever better than Triforce just because you go like more of a DPS build nowadays than
Yeah.
just because of like nerfs and stuff. I don't know exactly the specifics, but I remember like reading through the patches and be like, even when basically there was one patch where one DPS item, I forgot which one it was. One DPS item, in Triforce and Sunder got nerfed, and then Triforce got buffed. So that's why it
Mhm.
changed completely. But basically,
Yeah, yeah,
before the build was like more burst heavy and not DPS heavy, and now it's just DPS heavy.
yeah. But right now, like I feel like I see some people go Kraken or Bork into Triforce, and some people just go straight Triforce, and like I don't really know what's better. I guess it's just maybe game dependent. But most
Uh,
high elo Viegos just go Triforce instantly.
Definitely don't go like Kraken or Bork first. It's shit for sure. Shit.
Okay, okay.
It's never gonna like your basically Triforce gives more stats, different stats, and like literally just more stats. Like it gives you move speed from the passive. It gives you HP, which you need on Viego, by the way. Really important stat. And you actually don't need that much DPS in order to win the fights in that stage of the game where you have one item.
Okay.
Because you're fighting with your team anyway, and if you have the correct Viego comp, you shouldn't need to have that much DPS at that stage. So, yeah, that's why.
All right.
And
Well,
also, if you do the math, like this is more specific stuff that you don't really need to think about. But if you do the math, basically, um, the efficiency of having Bork or Kraken first in terms of damage doesn't outweigh the benefits from having the Triforce first.